The Guiding Voice is known for presenting some of the rarest of the rare topics, and today we are presenting you one of the interesting topics in the emerging space. So we are joined by Dr. Elliot Justin, who is the CEO and founder of FirmTech, the world's first wearable sex tech company, focusing on objectively scoring erectile fitness, overall male sexual health, and improving performance. And his groundbreaking ideas on sex tech have been featured in leading global publications, including The Guardian, GQ, Vice, and also Daily Star. And as we prepare to delve into our conversation on the topic at hand, TechRing, revolutionizing sexual health monitoring with Dr. Elliot Justin. Here's an exciting twist. First, let us tickle his brain. So, Elliot, get ready for the rapid fire round of random words. I'll mention a few, and I would love to hear the first thing that comes to your mind in response without thinking much. If you're ready, let's get started. All right. So, here comes the first word: curiosity,
Sex,
invention,
innovation,
future,
objective data,
book,
book. That's a great question. Grays without crosses.
Interesting title. I think I need to check it out. Next is sex,
The focus of life.
aliens,
I hope they're not here.
universe,
Expanding.
leadership,
Modi.
imagination,
Sensitivity.
and the last one is success.
Get rid of them.
Love it. Love your responses. And thank you so much for participating in the first rapid fire round so sportively. And Elliot, there is one more rapid fire round towards the end of the episode. So stay tuned. And before I formally welcome you to the show, let me welcome the audience. So, folks, you have tuned into TGV and hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice podcast series where we embark on transformative conversations for a better future. I'm your host, Naveen Samala, dedicated to making the world a better place through valuable discussions that add value not only to your life but also to your career. And thank you so much for tuning in. Dr. Elliot, hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice. Super thrilled to have you part of our journey. And ever since I have gone through your profile, I've been waiting for this episode to happen. And finally, we are here. Hearty welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
All right. So let's begin with your success mantra because my podcast is about inspiring people so that they can shape their careers and life. So I always begin with this success mantra. So please share with our audience top 3 things that have contributed to your success so far.
1, I'm an emergency medicine doctor, and short of a heart attack or a stroke, there are few things that concern a man as much as an ineffective penis. 2, we live in an age of healthcare wearables, and in this age of healthcare wearables, there's a gap, which is sex. What do men care more about? How many steps they took yesterday, or even the quality of the sleep, or their sex life? 3, without data, we can't improve our situation.
Wow, spot on. And can you share with us how this wearable sex tech like the TechRing is transforming the landscape of sexual health monitoring? And first of all, what inspired you to develop this innovative approach to assessing male sexual fitness?
Well, let me draw an analogy to cardiology, Naveen. If you or I had chest pain and we went to our internist or cardiologist and that doctor just felt our pulse and listened to our heart with a stethoscope and said, take digoxin, we would think, what is this, 1900? We would expect chest CT angiogram, electrocardiogram, blood tests, so the doctor could figure out what's going on. If a man goes to a gynecologist, or a woman goes to a gynecologist for that matter, and says, I like my sexual health where it is, I want to keep it here, or I have a problem, they just give us a pill, and that's like 1900. So we need to take sexual health into the 21st century, and we need technology in order to do that. So what inspired me to do this was I live in Montana in the United States. I own horses, and sometimes I have the illusion that I'm a centaur. I don't know what the Indian equivalent of a centaur is, but I'm certain it has to be one in mythology because it's the half man, half horse. I was riding very fast and had an injury and broke 6 vertebrae. And that got me interested in what's been done. I was fortunately fine in terms of health, but it got me interested in what's been done to help men, or women for that matter, who suffered a spinal cord injury. And I called it Project O, orgasm, for obvious reasons. I implanted an electrode by every man and woman's favorite nerve, the cavernous nerve that no one's heard about, the nerve that's responsible for producing erections in men and women, because there were 6 doctors around the world who had said that doing this, you could produce an erection. It didn't work. And so I began to wonder, well, what can be done to help men who have a sexual problem? Several years ago, I was then approached by a urology professor at the University of Utah who told me he wanted to come up with a way of counting the number of nocturnal erections men have while they're sleeping, because they're a leading indicator of a man's cardiovascular health. And that made me, because you hear about my project, though, and that made me think, my God, a leading indicator. In medicine, that's a really strong phrase, because that means it's predictive. So in India and the United States, we treat lots of people with high blood pressure, and high blood pressure is just associated with heart attack or stroke. It's not a leading indicator. If a healthy man has 3 to 5 nocturnal erections per night while he's sleeping, he doesn't know about them. And if that number goes down, that man, in 2 or 3 years at least, will have a heart attack or a stroke. So this is like a 6th vital sign. This is really important data. It's not just about sex. It's actually about your cardiovascular health or your reaction to medications. So my thought was to embed sensors into an erection ring, and that's the origin of Femtech. So I don't just want to have something be worn overnight, because men are more interested in the erections they have while they're trying to have sex, or while they are having sex. So by wearing this ring, we do 2 things. One, we give men and their doctors information about their cardiovascular health. We also give them information about the medications that have a negative impact upon their sexual performance, with the antihypertensives and the antidepressants being the leaders in that area. And we tell men about the benefits of supplements, exercise, diet, other things upon their sexual health, or even upon relationships. I mean, because we perform differently with different partners. So this is world's first technology, and it is transforming the field of urology. There are 4 papers accepted for publication right now. There are another 9 projects underway. And utilizing this data, leading urologists around the world is to assess the impact of testosterone therapy, the impact of shockwave therapy. The impact of Botox upon erections. There are lots of, I'd like to say, Naveen, that where there are hopes, there are dopes. And when it comes to the area of sexual health in India and the United States, there are many, many things that are being sold to men to improve their performance that don't have any impact whatsoever. So when you have data, you can get objective, personal, actionable data, because it could be that testosterone works for you, it doesn't work for me. But now you can get objective, actionable, personal data about your sexual performance. I also want to help men to perform better in bed without the data. So erection rings have been around forever. I think you can even find them on some Indian temples. But today they're usually hard silicone rings. They manufacture the same way for 150 years. They don't work. They pin comfortable. A man has to have an erection first because they choke off the blood supply. Well, who wants to choke off their favorite organ after their brain? So I want to invent a device that will allow blood to go in, but just constrain the venous return, so men could have a comfortable, long-lasting erection. Finally, women have vibrators and men have nothing when it comes to enhancing pleasure. In my lifetime, vibrators have been mainstream for women, and this will happen in India inevitably, because there are already 4 companies right now selling vibrators online for women. So vibrators have gone from hidden away in my mother's supply closet, hers. Our daughter probably takes. I know our daughter takes them on dates. So in the United States and in India, in certain parts of society, they have been mainstream. They're just acceptable. There's no shame associated with using them. Men do not use erection rings. They see them as crutches. And they see them as things that don't work. Ours are uniquely comfortable, and ours are designed to put the right amount of pressure over the urethra to draw out the ejaculation. The longer the ejaculation, the more profound the orgasm. So we've accomplished 2 things, Naveen. We're giving people vital data about their most vital organ, and we're improving sexual performance.
All right. I think that is clear. Dr. Elliot, in many cultures, discussing this erectile dysfunction remains a taboo topic, right? So how can sex tech devices like the TechRing encourage more open conversations around male sexual health within both the male community and also the medical profession?
Well, this is a challenge. And it's a challenge here in the United States as well. In the States, 90% of gay men use erection rings regularly, and doctors are inhibited about this as well. Doctors are embarrassed to discuss this, and doctors, we kind of regard sex as maybe the least important part of your life. We're going to treat all these other more important parts of your body, high blood pressure, your lungs, first. So the conversation needs to start at many levels. One of the reasons why we're performing so much research is we want to alert doctors to the importance of the value of what we're doing. I mean, 50% of men over age 50 in the United States, and it's actually a little bit higher in India, have erectile dysfunction. That's an enormous problem. It has a tremendous impact on the quality of people's happiness, on people's quality of their relationships, but on their health as well, too. Because a man who has sex every day has cortisol levels, and cortisol is a stress hormone. They have cortisol levels half of what men do who don't have sex every day.
Yeah.
And we know from a large study in the United Kingdom that if men over age 70 have sex twice a week, their cardiovascular risk goes down by up to 50%. So doctors need to start talking about this with people. And they don't in the United States. And they don't in India either. People are afraid to talk about it. And if they do talk about it, they just give people a pill. Doctors need to start taking a sexual history. So there are two types. Erectile dysfunction breaks into two categories. There are men who can't attain an erection. They can't get an erection. Those men need to see a doctor. But then there are more common problems than men who can't sustain an erection. And that could be from anxiety, medications, distraction, age, venous leak syndrome. And for those men, frankly, a ring is actually a more effective solution than a pill. So it really is going to take persuading the doctors that this is critical. But then there's social media. Social media is breaking down barriers everywhere.
Right.
And people are starting to have to talk about this. I mean, it's hardest probably in countries where there's restriction on social media. I mean, the highest incidence of erectile dysfunction are the Persian Gulf, India, and Southeast Asia, China and Japan.
Yeah.
And to your point, there are profound cultural issues, but they are changing. And then change also needs to come about from the bottom. People need to demand that their doctors pay attention to this problem. Right. It's hard though. It's really what suggestions do you have, Naveen?
Yeah, having open conversation, right? It should not be treated as if it is a sin. If they are undergoing some problem, they have to discuss it openly so that they can fix it when the problem is small, right? That is my take. And as you mentioned, right, awareness is growing. And these days in India, we have seen some male sexual wellness clinics opening up, which is good thing, because many times I've seen marriages being broken because of these kind of issues, right? Because the partner is not happy and they want to divorce.
It's frankly, it's the most common problem. Actually, we've been approached by two doctors in India who want to use the device for arranged marriages. Yeah. Because if a young woman is marrying an older man and the family would like to know, does it work? Is this what's going to happen here? And I mean, so we sold about 12,000 units here in the United States, and I know from talking to our customers that there have been 2 divorces that have resulted from. Oh, wow. One divorce was the woman picked up, the man didn't have a password protection on his phone. She picked up his app, because we're online, we're in the Google and Apple store. She picked up his phone and saw that, what do you mean you can't have sex with me? You had sex here Tuesday afternoon, you had sex on Thursday evening. What's going on here? And we had an opposite one where a woman bought the device for her husband, and he was having nocturnal erections. And she was angry because he had been blaming her for over a year, shaming her, because it's your fault. You don't do this, you don't do that. You're a terrible person. You're a terrible lover. Yeah. But he wasn't having nocturnal erections. He had a significant health problem, and he wasn't addressing it. Instead, he was just getting angry at her. So the medical and social impact of this device is really profound. Just yesterday, I had a retired surgeon who he bought the TechRing. He's in his 80s. His wife is in his 60s, and he was struggling to have sexual relations, and he had no nocturnal erections. So now he had to come to me. His doctor. Well, you're getting old. But he wanted to know what was really going on. He realized we had no nocturnal erections. He called me up. He's taking 2 medications that interfere with sexual performance. And my recommendation to him was that, speak to your doctor, but you probably should stop taking both those medications and then see what happens. And if necessary, get an injection. Injections also produce erections in older men.
Yeah, got it. And let's take a step back. Normally, if we talk about these wearables, it is often associated with fitness and health tracking. So how do you see these wearables like the TechRing expanding the definition of health monitoring beyond just physical activity to include sexual wellness? Do you foresee more of these kind of devices hitting the market?
Yeah, I do. So I think these devices will become a standard for self-care in this area, and as well as for research. We have also we're developing a device for women. We've tested on 38 women, and it is the first monitor of clitoral blood flow. So this device will be profoundly valuable for women as well. The way in which this event, using this device, we will be able to assess the impact of diseases, diabetes, hypertension, atherosclerosis, obesity, and medications upon their sexual health. Women are more interested in their health than men are for the best. And I think that will change people. I'll put it this way: what's more motivating to people? What can be more motivating than sex? Right. For both men and women, maybe women be 30 seconds behind in answering that question. Sex is a profound motivator. Now, we know that people develop positive relations with their wearables. If someone gets, or digital health tools, someone gets a smart watch or a smart ring, like Whoop or Aura, or someone gets even a digital scale, a digital blood pressure cuff, they'll take the blood pressure more, they'll weigh themselves more. Well, it's my hope that with digital wearables, I call them underwearables for sex, that men and women will start to enjoy healthier sex lives, overall healthier lives, because you can't have good sex unless you're in good cardiovascular health. Yeah, and will enjoy longer lives of lovemaking and be happier and be more successful in their relationships. You talked about. This is the major source of dissatisfaction in a marriage. It's not you didn't take the garbage out. It's not you're a lousy cook. It's sex. People lose their confidence quickly if they stop making love. So for men, an effective erection ring is an enormous confidence builder. Men know put on an effective ring and know that they're not going to lose their erection, but they're going to be able to have an erection for 30 to 45 minutes. That totally changes their mindset, Naveen, because whether you're an Indian man or an American man, a man with an erection thinks differently than a man without an erection.
Agreed. Wonderful. And this is so enlightening conversation. And here comes my next question. So what advice do you have for individuals struggling with erectile dysfunction who may feel embarrassed or ashamed to seek help? Right? As I said earlier, it is a taboo topic, right? And how can technologies like the TechRing empower them to take proactive steps towards the improvement?
Well, the great thing about the TechRing is that you don't need to see a doctor to use it.
Okay.
In the past, there was a device still used in some clinics in India called the Rigiscan. It looks like something Dr. Frankenstein would put in your penis. It has attachments and wires, and you got to sleep next to a computer like a box. And it wasn't user friendly, and you can't have sex with it. What men are doing here in the United States, most of the men actually don't consult their doctor. They either go online and get pills, or now they can actually buy our TechRing in private, use it in privacy and at home, and start to figure out what is going on. Is it in my head, or is it a medication? Am I drinking too much? Am I smoking too much marijuana? People can actually start to assess what is going on with themselves at home in privacy.
Got it. Also, can you share any inspiring stories or testimonials from TechRing users that highlight the positive impact this technology has had on their lives as well as their relationships?
Certainly. I know that two men had declining nocturnal erections. One went from 5 to 2, another guy went from 3 to 0 over the course of 6 months. Both of them ended up getting cardiac catheterizations, and one of them got a stent, and the other one is taking medication for their heart problem. They would not have discovered they would have discovered it later, and they would have been sicker, possibly even have died without the TechRing. There was recently a young back about 11, 12 months. There was a young man, 26 years old, married to a 30-year-old woman. They were trying to have a baby, and this guy's really fit, and his wife couldn't understand what was going on. They were making love 2 or 3 times a week, and they were attributing the problem to stress. They had new jobs. They just recently moved, and he didn't want to try the ring at all. It's like, hey, I'm 26 years old. I'm fit. What do I don't need this. She bought the ring for him, and he was having only 2-week nocturnal erections per night. And his erections during sex were weak as well. It turned out that he had an adrenal problem.
Oh.
He had a hormone problem, and he needed testosterone, and they now have a baby, and they're happy, and he started taking testosterone, and they make love, and they have a beautiful child. So those are some examples of how it works. We've also had people who are after prostate surgery. People often give up. I mean, the incidence after prostate surgery of impotence it's 30 to 70%. That's a lot of men. Half the men afterwards have problems. It takes a long time to recover from prostate surgery, and men have to do their exercises, pump their penis with a device, and take medications. And a lot of men give up after months because nothing's happening. And we've had men who have put our device on and seen that they're having nocturnal erections, that there's hope. And they then resume the full therapy program. And we've had 7 men in our database who use our device to monitor latent prostate surgery to monitor their health, and then to pump more, etc., and now they perform sexually. Mm-hmm. We also have men who use our device to replace the PD5 medications. The PD5 medications are Viagra and Cialis, Sildenafil, Tadalafil, and our data, which we published in the fall, indicates that an effective erection ring is actually better than medication. It'll keep a man hard twice as long. Well, that's a big deal if a man is having problems.
Wonderful. I think that's a great success story. I think congratulations on that great success. And in fact, you're helping many families, not just men, but it is helping all the families out there. And Elliot, this has been incredible conversation so far, and it's time for us to add some more spice and some more excitement to the episode. So if you're ready, I'll kick off the second rapid fire round.
Go ahead.
All right, here comes the first bullet. If you could have one gigantic billboard anywhere with anything on it, what would it say?
Put a ring on
it. Okay, here comes my next one. If the TechRing could speak, what do you think it would say during a performance review?
Make love more often.
And can you describe yourself in just one word?
Big-hearted.
Mm-hmm. And what is the weirdest misconception people have about wearable sex tech?
That's uncomfortable.
And if you could swap your life with someone for a day, who would it be and why?
I would like to swap my life with George Washington at the Battle of Yorktown. I would like to be responsible for winning the liberty of this extraordinary country, whose liberty is now in jeopardy.
And here comes the last one. Again, what is one electronic gadget other than TechRing that you would like to see or invent yourself?
I want to complete the invention of what we're calling the clitique, which is the world's first monitor of clitoral health.
Good. All the best on that. And Elliot, let's flip back to the mainstream. Looking ahead, right? What impact do you hope a wearable sex tech like the TechRing will have on the future of sexual health awareness as well as empowerment?
I think that in the future, because of their access to data, because people can track it to hack it, as the cliche goes, people will enjoy better relationships and a longer, more satisfying lifetime of lovemaking.
Amazing. And I have thoroughly enjoyed talking to you, and I look forward to hosting you again on the show and discuss various different topics. And so with that, we come to the end of the episode. And how is your experience being hosted on the Guiding Voice podcast? And have you ever been featured on Indian podcast?
I've not been on Indian podcasts, but I've enjoyed this. I want to spread the word internationally about the value of this device, because erectile dysfunction is actually a real pandemic. I mean, when 50% of men over age 50 have ED, that's the problem. And when it's 30% of men age 30, men need help, and women need help as well too. So I thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Most welcome. And where can our audience buy those tech rings? And do you have a sample to show?
I do. Here it is right here.
Got it.
The sensors are inside.
Nice.
It's Bluetooth enabled. You can find it in the Google and Apple stores, and it comes with a charger, and it can change your life.
Wonderful. So I'm going to share the links, to your website and also LinkedIn profile and whatever you are comfortable sharing with me, and it will be published in the show notes. And those of you who would like to buy one product, so go ahead and visit the site. I'm going to publish the site details, and also feel free to connect with Elliot Justin on LinkedIn.
Thanks so much.
All right. So thank you so much, Elliot. And I really appreciate you taking time for joining us today and engaging in this enchanting conversation.
Thank you.
All right. So friends, that was our episode with Dr. Elliot Justin. And before we jump into the fun trivia section, We have a quick request. In case if you haven't already subscribed to TGV, the Guiding Voice podcast, please subscribe to our podcast because subscribing keeps you updated on new episodes and you have a lot of stuff to learn from experts across the world. And if you have enjoyed this episode and found the conversation useful, please share with at least 3 of your friends or colleagues who would also like TGV, the Guiding Voice. So spread the knowledge and help others grow just like you. Now, let's hop into the trivia segment of today's episode. And today's trivia is about 3 lesser known and interesting facts about sex toys. Having had amazing conversation about sex tech, an innovative product which is going to transform the lives of people across the globe, I thought I would talk to you about the origins of sex toys and some interesting facts related to that. So first one is about ancient origins. Sex toys have a long history and were used by ancient civilizations. The earliest known sex toys date back to around 30,000 years ago with the discovery of stone and wood dildos. And ancient Greeks and Romans also used objects like olive oil soaked breadsticks and animal bladder condoms for sexual pleasure. Second is about medical beginnings. In the 19th century, vibrators were initially developed as medical devices to treat hysteria in women. Physicians used manual massage techniques to induce hysterical paroxysm, or I would say the simplest term is orgasm, as a treatment for female mental disorders. Eventually, electromechanical vibrators were invented and which later transitioned into being marketed as consumer sex toys. Third is about innovation and technology. Sex toy innovation extends beyond traditional designs. Modern sex toys incorporate advanced technology like Bluetooth connectivity, app controlled features, and virtual reality integration. These innovations not only enhance pleasure but also promote sexual health education and accessibility. I think TechRing is a perfect example of the latest technology as well as innovation in the sex toys. Of course, it is going beyond what is referred to as toy, and likewise I think it is an excellent opportunity for you to grab one. And folks, this is all I wanted to share. Likewise, if you have any interesting facts related to either sex toys or sexual wellness, I would love to hear from you. So do not hesitate to share your ideas, feedback either through social media platforms, or you can also email us at theguidingvoiceforyou@gmail.com. 4 as in digit 4 and you as letter u. And let's create content that resonates with you. And thank you so much for tuning in and also for being part of our awesome TGV family. I'm your host, Naveen Samala, a lifelong learner, and my goal is to have impactful conversations that improve not only your life, but also your career. So until next time, take care, stay inspired, and remember, the future holds great things. Goodbye for now. See you all in the next episode with another amazing guest. Take care.